Hello everyone, my name is Hannah. Welcome to a new reading vlog. So I wanted to film this intro so I could talk about the book that I am currently reading. I was going to try to read this one like in tandem with a bunch of other books because this book is really long. It's over 1,000 pages and it's intimidated me for quite a long time. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna dip my toes in and I'll read other things and I'll read this like in the background and just ease my way into it. But I am finding it very interesting. So the book is The Way of Kings by Sanderson. I talked about this a little bit in my last reading vlog, how I haven't found a Sanderson that I've loved, but to be fair, I've only read one other book by him, which was Warbreaker, and I just did not enjoy that at all. I gave it 2 stars. And then the other book I DNF'd like before 100 pages, which was Skyward. I was so frustrated and irritated and annoyed with that one. So I was like, maybe I just don't like Sanderson. So I've been intimidated by this, but I didn't want to give up. I really wanted to like Sanderson. So I was just in the mood for a high epic fantasy. And I was like, you know what? I think it's time. So I started listening to the audiobook for The Way of Kings, and I'm about 25-ish% in, I think. I don't have a physical copy of it, but I did order one on Pango. So hopefully that arrives in this vlog so I can like read along because I'm really enjoying it. I also really want to know like how far in I am, you know? That's like the thing with reading physical books where you can like see the progress you've made. I really want that with this one. Hopefully that will be arriving sometime this week in the mail. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I know that people say like the beginning is really slow, like even the first 50% is slow. I mean, is it? There's not like a ton happening right now, but like I'm engaged and I'm interested. So it doesn't feel slow to me. I'm not like, ugh, just slogging along, you know, which I do feel sometimes with like, especially with like big fantasy books. I can tell when I'm like, this is just too slow for me. But this one doesn't feel that way. I'm intrigued. I'm like interested in what's happening with these characters, and like the world is very interesting as well. Honestly, I don't know that I could give you like a synopsis of what the book is about. We've been following this character Kaladin, who I believe is the main character technically of this series. If not the main, then he's one of the main characters. I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure. I just know in talking about the Stormlight Archives, I know that Kaladin is a big name. Like, he's obviously a big character. He's not a side character. So we have his point of view, and he is a former, like, warrior soldier that has been turned slave. And we've just been, like, following his little trials here. Not really trials. He's not, like, doing trials or anything. It's just him, like, living his life, and it's not great. And he has this, like, little, I want to say fairy, but, like, not really a fairy. She's, like, a wisp. She's called a spren. Her name is Syl, who is like, yeah, like described like a wisp of smoke almost. Like, she doesn't really have like a shape, but she keeps appearing to him as this like youthful girl shape, and like, I don't know, she's really cute and I really like her. We were also following a character named Shallan, who was trying to become a ward for this one like important lady, and she's like gotta study and stuff, and I thought her point of view was really interesting. And then we're also following another character. I can't, off the top of my head, cannot tell you his name, but he is like one of the like right hand men of the king, basically. So yeah, I know that was like probably the worst synopsis in the world, but like that is just what's happening right now. I don't know where the story is gonna go, so I can't like, I didn't read the back of the book or anything, so I can't tell you like what's gonna come. I'm sure people who have read the series are like appalled at that synopsis that I just gave, but that's all I got for you. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it, so I'm gonna continue to read that. I did get more yarn for my genre blanket. I have been wanting to crochet, and I just haven't had the chance to go get yarn, and I ran out of the color I need for my genre blanket. So I bought a big skein of yarn that I can pick up where I left off. So my plan is probably tonight to listen to a little bit of The Way of Kings while I crochet on my genre blanket. But yeah, those are really my only like plans for the week. I don't have any other plans, which is fantastic. I love not having plans. It just feels wonderful for me. So yeah, welcome to the vlog. I just wanted to talk a little bit about The Way of Kings and where I'm at and how I'm feeling with it. I'm very, very pleased with the fact that I am enjoying it, and I hope that it continues that way. I can't wait to have my physical copy so I can like show you how far in I am and such. But yeah, that's all for this intro. Welcome to the vlog, as I've stated, and let's just get into it. Alright, hello everyone. It is Sunday now. I'm not sure when my like intro to this vlog was filmed. Truly can't remember, but I did make a bit of progress into The Way of Kings. I think I'm about 40% of the way in right now. It didn't get delivered yet, so I'm thinking it's going to be delivered on Monday, but that's okay. So I have no idea what page I'm on. I'm just basically going off of how far into the audiobook I am, but I am really enjoying it. I know a lot of people say that it's really slow, or like the first like 50 to even 70% of the book is like really slow because it's all this like setup and build up and laying the groundwork for this bigger story. I don't feel like it's slow because I've read books before where I'm like, I feel like nothing is happening. This feels so slow. And this one doesn't feel like that. It's definitely not like fast-paced and action-packed and stuff, but it's intriguing. I really like how the story is being told. I like the multiple points of view. I am starting to make connections to everybody now as the story goes on. So Kaladin is a part of this army that he's like a bridge man who basically it's almost like a death sentence to work there, and he is really trying to keep his crew alive. He just wants that purpose, basically. His point of view is for sure my favorite. And Syl, I just love her. She's one of my favorite characters. She is like, she's called a spren, which is like a sprite, basically like a fairy sprite. I think she's described as being like a wisp of smoke given form kind of thing. I just love her. I love her so much. And I love Kaladin, and I just really like his like point of view. Anytime I'm in his point of view, I am like hooked. His point of view is for sure my favorite. So he's in this army, which I'm gonna get the names wrong. If I could flip through the book and find the name, this name starts with an S. God, I should have just looked it up and written it down, but I didn't. So, well, we have another point of view that is Dalinar, and he is like he's the uncle and one of like the right-hand men of the king, and he has this rivalry with this other guy that the name starts with an S. I can't remember it off the top of my head. Once I get the book, I'll tell you what it is, but that is the army that Kaladin is like working for. So he's met this like S guy, and then Dalinar, his niece, is the one that Shallan is trying to become a ward of. Yasna, is that her name? I think it's pronounced Yasna. So like they're all connected, but right now they're like, they have no idea that they're all connected, but like the story is now, I'm making the connections. I'm sure that was like, I don't know why. I'm gonna leave it in there. I'm sure if you haven't read the book, you're like, what is she talking about? Why is she trying to explain this? Because it makes no sense. If you've read the book, you're just probably laughing at me at this point at my terrible explanation of it. But yeah, I'm enjoying it is what I'm trying to say. So Kaladin is a bridge man, and he is trying to survive being a bridge man, and then also like keep his crew alive, which it's, like I said, it's like a death sentence. So these men are getting extremely wounded, and they don't really care about anything. They're either like slaves that are basically forced to do it, or like former criminals or something, that this is their punishment. And so they don't really care very much if they live or die. So he's trying to like keep them alive and like make them into a team, into a unit. We're getting flashbacks to his past when he was a surgeon's apprentice. His father was a surgeon, and so we're seeing like his past, which is really cool. And in Dalinar's point of view, he has these visions, which at first I was like kind of confused by them, and I'm like, what is the point of this? But the last vision that he just had was like basically a flashback where he went back in time like thousands and thousands of years to when the Knights of Radiance were around, which at this point they have become somewhat of a myth. He was kind of like seeing what it was like back in that time, and like he was in somebody else's head, basically. Like he possessed them for a brief period of time, and then he'll come back to his timeline, and nobody believes him. They all think that he's going crazy, but I think that his point of view is getting much more interesting, because at first I was like, I could take or leave his point of view, but now I'm interested in it. And then we haven't had Shallan's point of view since the first part of the book, so I'm assuming when we get back to like the third part, we'll get more of her point of view again. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. So I think what I'm gonna do today is just sit down on the couch, listen to the audio for it, and crochet a bit. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go make a cup of tea. Part of me wants to start another book. not today specifically, but like soon-ish. I'm tempted to either start The Spell Shop by Sarah Beth Durst, which I've been really excited for. This is like a cottagecore fairy tale kind of book and it looks super cute. Or I'm gonna start my reread / annotation process of The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. This is one of my favorite books of all time, and this is like the perfect time of year to read it because it's like set in like October, November-ish. No, mostly at October, actually. Just looking at the dates. But yeah, it's like the perfect time of year to read it. So I might start my reread of this. I did already make a post-it note of like the things I did want to annotate. Where did that go? So I have like an idea of what I would want to tab and annotate. So I don't know. I might start this one soon, maybe even later tonight. I'll set up my annotation system for this. I do really want to reread this one this year, so maybe I'll start with this, even though I've been really wanting to pick up The Spell Shop. This is just the perfect time of year to read this book. I think I'll go with this one whenever I decide to start it. Either later tonight, I'll set up the annotation system for it, or I'll do it sometime this week and include it in this vlog. Yeah, that's the plan. Okay, so I'm gonna go make a cup of tea. I'm gonna go hunker down on the couch and start crocheting and listening to the audio of The Way of Kings. Oh, he's my little baby. You're a good girl.
The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. Read for you by Jim Dale. The circus arrives without warning. No announcements preceded. No paper notices on downtown posts and billboards. No mention or advertisements in local newspapers. It is simply there, when yesterday it was not.
Okay, hello. I did start my reread of The Night Circus. I'm not far in. I think I've only read like the first 1 or 2 chapters. I'm on page 25. But those first few pages, those first 25 pages, just make me remember why I love this book so much. The writing in this is just incredible. It's so atmospheric and just so well told. The storytelling, I just love it. And like the opening line gets me every time. The circus arrives without warning. Oh, I just love that so much. And I'm having a lot of fun annotating in this. So that's been great. Plus, I did read a little bit more of The Way of Kings. I'm over the halfway mark at this point. I can't remember exactly where I am, but I have this lovely package here that I thought we could open together and find out where exactly I'm at. It's like wrapped in cling wrap, but it's The Way of Kings. Let's see. There we go. Now to just unravel. Oh my god, it's in like great shape. Oh, the front cover is bent a little bit. But like the pages are like in really good shape. That's the only flaw, is that the cover has been bent at some point. But I got it, and for the cheapest price I could possibly find on Pango Books. So yeah, if you're looking for books in decent condition, I mean, I've gotten books in better condition than this, like in brand new condition basically, for way cheaper. Yeah, check out Pango Books. So I do have a code down in my description because I'm a Pango ambassador now, where you can get $5 off your first order. So that's pretty sweet. And my Pango shop is linked down below if you want to see the books that I am reselling. But yeah, here we have it. I finally have a physical copy of it. So there's the map. Also, I wanted the paperback because you know, I'm a paperback bitch, but this is gloriously floppy. All right, let's find out where I am. Oh, there's been pictures this whole time. Hold on, I have to see all these pictures. Oh, here's the map. Was that not the map? No, it was. This is just the black and white version. A little bit bigger. Okay, what else do we have here? A map of the Shattered Plains, where Kaladin is, and like what Sadeas's war camp looks like. Yeah, stuff like this. That's nice. That's nice to have that, which makes me even more excited that I have the physical copy now, so I can follow along and like see these things as they're being explained. Ooh. Past the 500 page mark. Okay, I think I'm I can't remember, if I'm being honest. I can't remember what chapter I'm on. But I think I'm on chapter 39, which is page 558. So I'm over the halfway mark. I'm so happy about that. I need to get a bookmark before I close this, but luckily it's floppy enough that I can just lay it open and there it is. So I'm gonna go crochet and drink some tea again, because I'm sure you can tell my throat is quite croaky at the moment. It was so bad today teaching. Like I was like whispering to the kids because I could barely use my voice without like hacking up a lung. But anyway, I am gonna go listen to the audio of The Way of Kings while I crochet, and then once I'm tired of crocheting, I might switch over to The Night Circus, because I do really want to read more of this and annotate more of this. But if I just stick with The Way of Kings tonight, that's okay too, because I'll read more of this tomorrow then. But I'm just really loving what I'm reading at the moment, and it's a great feeling. It really is a great feeling to have a reread that is 5 stars, and I haven't reread, I think, in a few years. So I'm really excited to reread it, and I'm already loving it. And then to have this like awesome epic fantasy that is keeping me so like intrigued, and I'm just really, really enjoying it. I love it. I love reading. So I'm gonna go. I just wanted to update and open The Way of Kings since finally it has arrived. All right, enough rambling. I'm gonna go read. Goodbye. All right, hello everyone. I wanted to do a little reading update. So I am currently on page 765 of The Way of Kings. Still really thoroughly enjoying it. And I'm very eager to see what these last pages are going to hold, because if I know anything about Brandon Sanderson, I know that his endings are explosive. So I'm very excited to see what the last like 250-ish pages are going to hold, because I've really enjoyed the first 765 pages. So I'm very excited about that, and I'm having a good time. And for the night circus, I am currently on page 311. So I have about a little less than 200 pages left of this one. This one I am annotating and having the best time. If I didn't say what this one is about and you don't know, it is about a circus that arrives and is open only at night, and it's very mysterious. There's like a magical competition associated with the circus, and the real selling point for this book is the writing. It's so atmospheric. It really makes you feel like you are there at the circus, and there's like a mystery around this like magical competition and like why these two are competing and how they're even competing. It's just like very atmospheric and very whimsical, and I love it so much. So I'm having a really good time rereading it. My plan is to try to finish both of these this weekend so that I can finish this vlog and have it posted on Sunday, which might be a little bit ambitious given the things that like the time that I have and the things that I need to do in addition to trying to read these, but we're gonna try. If I don't post this vlog until Monday, so be it. But yeah, I'm gonna try to finish both of these for this vlog. So I think for the night, I am going to try to focus on the night circus because I can annotate. And then tomorrow, when I'm like doing other tasks, I can be listening to the audio for The Way of Kings. And then once I have time, I can like sit down and read along with it. So I think I'll be able to finish both of these. It's just that I'm just loving both of them so much that I'm like, yeah, I want to finish both of them. So I just wanted to do like kind of a pre-final check-in about where I'm at with these books. Hopefully the next update is that I finished at least one of these. All right, good morning, everyone. It is Sunday now, and I did finish The Night Circus yesterday, and I just love this book so much, and I had so much fun going through and annotating it and just reliving the story. Ooh, I like this annotation page. Yeah, it was just a really magical, fun experience. I'm so glad that I reread it because it's been a few years since I've been able to reread it, and now I'm really happy to have an annotated copy. So I loved that. I did not read any more of The Way of Kings. I'm still on page 765. So I'm just going to extend this vlog until I finish The Way of Kings so you can kind of get all my thoughts on this book in one video. So yeah, the plan is to read some of this today, and I don't think I'll be able to finish it though. There's still 6 hours left of the audiobook. So I don't think I'll be able to read all of that today, but probably by Monday or Tuesday, I'll be able to finish it. So I'll just post this vlog whenever I finish it. But yeah, I just wanted to do a quick little check-in that I finished The Night Circus, and I am going to be reading The Way of Kings today. I didn't get a chance to finish it. So yeah, that's it. I'll see you in the next update. I just finished The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. This was so good. I am so happy that I didn't not pick this up. I'm so happy that I picked it up is what I'm trying to say. The last 100 pages or so were so good. If I was gonna rate just those 100 pages, obvious 5 stars. I really want to just give the whole book 5 stars. It didn't give me that 5-star feeling that I normally get when I'm I need to give this book 5 stars. But also, it was so freaking good. And I feel like this is one of those books where if I were to read the whole series and then come back and reread this one, it would be an obvious 5 stars, if that makes sense. I've done that with the Throne of Glass series with, I think I originally gave Throne of Glass 4 stars. But now when I go back and reread it, I'm very clearly a 5-star book. And with ACOTAR too, I gave ACOTAR 4 stars the first time I read it, and then the farther into the series I got, when I would go back to reread it, I was this is 5 stars. I feel like that's what would happen with this one. I just think rereading this one and looking at some of the foreshadowing, even just for this book, I'm sure that there's foreshadowing in here for stuff in future books that I just don't even know yet. It's definitely gonna be a book that I want to go back and reread once I am farther into the series. I want to come back to this. It was so good. The last 100 pages were incredible. The action at the end and the connections that are being made, and then there's stuff that's being revealed. There's stuff that's happening that just shook me that I did not see coming. Yeah, I just thoroughly enjoyed this. This is such a good high epic fantasy. If that is what you're in the mood for, I know I'm late to the train on this one, but if you haven't read it by chance, you gotta pick it up. So happy that I read this, because a part of me was thinking the first book is 1,000 pages. It's at least 5 books of over 1,000 pages. And I was thinking maybe it's just not for me. Maybe I just don't like Brandon Sanderson's writing, but I didn't give up. And I'm so happy that I didn't, because it was so good. And I was so intrigued the whole time. A lot of people say oh, the first half is really slow, and granted, there's not a ton going on at the beginning. It's a lot of setting stuff up, and there's not a ton of action, but you need that information and you need to get to know those characters in order for it to get where it's gonna go. And I know that it's this is just the first book, so it's gonna go even farther in the next books. I just can't wait to pick up the next book. So I am going to read some cozy fantasies in my next reading vlog, because I have them on my physical TBR and I want to read them. But I did order the second book, Words of Radiance, and I will be picking that up this year. I wish I would have picked this up sooner so that I could have finished the series in order to pick up the new release that's coming out in December. I definitely won't be able to read all of the books that are currently out by the time the new book that's releasing comes out, but I'm glad that I read this when I did, because I was in like the perfect mood for it, because I wanted exactly this. I wanted an epic high fantasy where I could just like dip my toes in and not like feel like the need to binge it, but I was still like fully immersed. It's like right book, right time kind of situation, because I feel like if I would have tried to read this when I wasn't in the mood for an epic high fantasy, it would not have ended well, and I probably would have ended up DNFing it, because I would have been like, oh, I just don't care what's happening. Maybe. I guess I don't know, because sometimes books will surprise me. But yeah, I think I just read this at the perfect time, because it was exactly what I was in the mood for, and I was literally just intrigued from the first page. So yeah, I'm not really sure what my rating is going to be, because a 4-star doesn't feel high enough for this, but it also didn't feel like a 5-star to me, so maybe like 4.5. Honestly, the half-star ratings, I'm like, sometimes I'm like, you know what, it's a 4.5, that's exactly where it is. But then the half-star just annoys me sometimes, and that's like how I feel right now. I'm like, but it doesn't feel, a 4 feels like that's not a high enough rating for this, and a 5, it doesn't feel like a 5-star book to me yet. I don't know if that makes any sense. So I think I'm just gonna stick with a 4.5 rating and just say like, it's basically a 5. This has the potential to be a 5-star rating, especially if I come back and reread it. I have a feeling that I would give this 5 stars in the future. So it's like, at that point, why not just give it 5 stars now? I don't know, but I guess I'm just going to stick with 4.5. I am just so happy that I read this, and I can't wait to continue the series. I'm so happy with how this turned out, because it's not that I was expecting to not like it. I was just like cautious going into it, you know? So yeah, what a successful endeavor that was. I'm very happy about that. So that is going to be the end of this reading vlog. Let me know in the comments down below if you have read the Stormlight Archives, or if you've read The Night Circus, since that's one of my all-time favorite books. But I'd be really curious to know if you've read the Stormlight Archives and like who your favorite character is. I know I haven't met all the characters yet, but Kaladin is for sure my favorite. He was my favorite point of view the whole time, and I love him. I really like Dalinar. I really like Shallan. I really like Yasna. Syl, I would die for Syl. Yeah, so good. So let me know if you've read it. I would love to talk about it. No spoilers for future books, or really no spoilers for this book either, because I don't want people in the comments to see spoilers. But that is it for this reading vlog. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you liked the video, you can let me know by liking and subscribing down below, and leave me a comment if you've read Stormlight Archives, or if it's on your like radar at all. And thank you again so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye.